And now we can finally get towards setting up our view model. I don't know how far we're going to get into this today. I think we could build out the view model. We definitely could, and have it interact with our use case. But I don't know how far we'll get into hooking it up. Let's just find out. Let's just start typing a little more, because I don't want to give up just yet. Um, this is gonna end up being like 3 videos on YouTube now. We have so much content. Okay, let's make a login view model. Now I wonder, do I have coroutines in here? I do. Mutable state flow. We're going to start with login view state.initial. I'm going to clarify so it doesn't confuse the sealed class. This will be a mutable state flow of login view state. Die over official. Thank you for the follow. Oh, look, there's still people here. Maybe I don't stream too early. Maybe the problem is I don't stream late enough. Maybe I just need to stay on late. That's how it's supposed to go. Okay, and then we'll expose our public view state. State flow, login view state equals view state. Oh no. No, don't worry, Matt. We're not going to always be streaming late. Unless you're saying, oh no, about something I did with state flows. But, okay. This will consume a login use case, which will be a credentials login use case we made earlier. So let's talk about, nice. State flows are really nice. I like working with them. So we could do a TDD approach again. I'm gonna not, because I'm tired. I'm gonna just write out what I think this function needs, this class needs to do. Because there's a few things. So let's am I gonna hate that? Maybe we will do some TDD. Let's start by defining all of the public functions this class is gonna have, right? So the first thing is we're gonna have like email changed with some new string, right? And then we're gonna have to do something. Oh, can I not? I thought there was a way to do like, I can do that. Okay. Then we're gonna have our password changed with some new password text. We are going to have, oh no, we need to delete that. And I am on it, even though I have a mod here, I'm just on it. All right. We're going to have sign in button clicked. And then we're also going to have sign up button clicked, which doesn't do anything in our app at all. Yeah, we don't really have like onboarding, but we can leave it at this. Okay, so what we expect is when we call each of these, it will do a thing, which will then trigger an update to the view state. So let's do some TDD here. And I can preach once again how much I love the robot pattern. So the robot pattern, if you're unfamiliar with it, is the idea that your test should not really interact with the system under test, but with a separate layer, which kind of serves as like a middle ground of running assertions and performing actions on your system under test. So like, let's say I change something about my view model. I don't want to change every single test. I just want to change like one spot, and that's what our robot pattern does. So here, we're going to create a login view model robot. And what this is going to do, it's going to have a view model that it creates eventually. And like what I'll do is I'll have, okay, we'll have a function called build view model. And this will just create the login view model. Now, we've also got our use case to worry about. I love having a bunch of dependencies, but this is fine. This is just one use case. So let's go back to our fakes that we made earlier, and let's create a fake credentials login use case. And we'll follow the same pattern we were using earlier in the stream if you caught it. We'll create a mock, which will be our credentials login use case. And then we can have a function, mock login result for credentials. Or yeah, we'll just leave that. This will take some credentials and a result. And so what this will do is we'll say for every mock dot invoke, right? Mock with the credentials returns results. That's our fake credentials. Oh, thank you for the ban. I saw my name in there and it made it sound like you banned me, and I was really confused of what was going on in chat for a second. Huh. Okay. Fake credentials login use case. Mock. All right, so what do we need our robot to do in these tests? Well, we need one way to interact with our mock. So we could say mock login for result for credentials is something we're going to need to do. This will take some credentials, which are not those, and a result, which will be a login result. And all this is going to do is be a proxy into our fake use case. I'm actually going to rename this function to the same thing. I like it better. I like it here. So we need to interact with our mock. We need a public proxy for all of our public methods in the ViewModel. So we could have like enter email, which will take some text, right? And then this, we can say ViewModel.email changed. We'll do the same thing with password. We'll apply ViewModel.password changed, password. We're going to need to be able to click the buttons. Click login button. ViewModel. Whoops. ViewModel.login button clicked. Sign in button clicked. Is it sign in button or login button? What do I call it? Login. God dang it. Although I think I read somewhere someone pointing out that like you should call it sign in because it's consistent when you have sign in and sign up versus login and sign up. But it's too late. I'm in too deep. We can refactor it in another stream. Click sign up button. So ViewModel. I actually should probably leave this out because this doesn't do anything yet, but we'll want it in the future. And so we've exposed the public method for everything our ViewModel does. So the last thing is we actually want an assertion. We want to be able to assert our view state. That'll take an expected view state, which will be a login view state. And so here we could say assert that ViewModel that view state that value that is equal to expected view state. Whew. All right, that was a lot. But having done all this, you're going to love how easy it is to write our tests in a second. So let's write our tests. One thing is, let's use the before syntax again. We're going to need a test robot, which will be a LoginViewModel robot. But we want to make sure this is specific to every test. So let's do a before annotation. We'll do setup we'll say test robot is equal to login ViewModel robot. Okay, so a lot going on here. Lots of ways to think about how we want to test this. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to open up login view state, and I'm going to put this on the side, and I'm going to use all of those instances to think through tests. So like the first one, let's test that when we build the view model, we have our initial state. So we can make a test here, test initial state. And all we want to do is say, okay, test robot, build view model, and then assert the view state is login view state dot initial. Okay. But then the next one is going to say, okay, test update credentials. And what we'll do is say, you know, words. So let's set some dummy credentials. Actually, let's do them up here because it'll be helpful for later. Default credentials. So let's create some credentials. Email, testy McTestface, password, 2, import those. Default credentials. So here, we'll take our test robot, we'll build our view model, we will enter our email, we will enter a password, password.value, and then we'll assert the view state. This will be login view state.active with those credentials. That's what that test is going to do. Now, gotta stay hydrated. Oh, that's my last one too. Might have to refill it a little bit. Testing is confusing. I'm going to skip submitting state. I'm going to skip it because I did not consider in my fake that I would want to have control over when the data is returned. And in order to test this property, right, properly, I need to say, click this, tell the fake use case to hang, and then when I'm ready, tell the fake use case to return. I'm going to skip that. We can test. Actually, I'm kind of getting burnt out. I'm tired. I'm looking at the counter go up. Let's, oh, I just realized we never added like a view state for submit in. But I guess that's because we plan to navigate away, so we don't need it. Let's write a test for what we have. Let's complete this thought. Let's run these tests, and let's make them pass. And if we don't fix everything tonight, that's fine. Let's just test like initial state and updated credentials. Because I think the error states are going to be a little trickier than we expect them to be. Yeah. Okay. That failed. Oh no, an Android Studio's freezing on me again. No, I don't want the profiler. This failed, operation not implemented. So let's go do that. So here, oh, are we gonna have a problem? I think we're gonna have a problem. So, a view state, right? Because it's not a data class, I can't use copy. And the thing is, I don't really care which state you're in. I just need it with updated credentials. So how do I do this? How do I, let me open that up again. Um, how do I swear, I'm gonna be so upset. There's gotta be an answer to this. Matt has to have an answer. Everyone who pushed sealed classes has one. Can you just construct one? A copy method? I guess, but um, would I then need to do it for each of these? Can I construct a state? Oh, actually, you're right. You're right. If I'm changing the email, then in theory, I don't actually care. I want to switch into the active state always, right? I guess the only time that might be weird is like if I have an error, and then maybe I do kind of have so if I have an input error, let's say both of these errored, and then I switch to active, well, do I really want to clear both error messages? Like if I have an error on both and I start entering an email, does it actually make sense? That can be a problem for a future stream. That could be a problem for a future stream. So, okay. So we've got current credentials will be viewState.value.credentials. And then here, credentials will be current credentials.copy email equals email. This will be what we do. And let's do the same with password. We'll just have to change this up. Password, password. Okay, and I think that doing this should oh, did I not make that pull request for the view states? Let's do that real quick. Login view state to sealed class. What else do we do in this? We changed 7 files with a lot of stuff. Oh. We just updated the UI. I'm gonna go with a cheap pull request description there. Cool, and our test passed. So, okay, this is actually pretty good. I don't hate it. So, I'm actually kind of wondering, I'm looking at this, and it feels kind of boilerplatey, but it also feels necessary. Curious, chat, how you think about, like, I mean, I suppose helper functions aren't a bad thing, you know, but like, I'm wondering if we ever want to do like, like if I did like credentials that like with updated email, and that takes it a string, and then I want to return a new instance, right? And then I could say, okay, return this dot copy email equals email, email. So then over here, we just have like with updated email. I suppose like it's just a helper function. Like I don't know why I feel weird about it. I feel like it's overkill because I think there's only one spot where I'm doing this. But I'm just curious what people think. I don't know if I like it. Maybe the copy in the view model is fine. Or if I did do it, maybe I don't want anyone to be able to update credentials, but I could argue that inside my view model, I want that helper function. So what we could actually do is private extension functions. So I can just throw this helper function inside the bottom of my view model. And so I get that nice clean code up here. But still having that. This is the way. Yeah. There's a really good blog post. Let me find this for you guys. Extension functions. More than Patrick, what is the name? Patrick, I can't remember his last name. Patrick Cousins wrote a great blog post on how extension functions are more than just syntactic sugar. And I think it's a really great post, and I definitely recommend it because it will kind of present stuff about extension functions that you didn't think of. Like he even explains like there's an obvious benefit of extension functions if you're extending a class that you didn't modify, right? But then it becomes a question of like, well, what about extension functions for your own classes? Kind of like what I just did. And really the reason for that is, what's the word? Sort of extracting business logic. So here's an example that I just went through. So we've got these classification functions. For example, like is a person over 65? Are they under 13? Are they rich? These are functions you could put. Matt's asking the question. The TLDR is yes, I'm in favor of private extension functions. And I'm going to answer that because I learned this from Patrick's post. We could put all of these nice things on person, and it gives us readability elsewhere. But then he talks about a problem here is we're now polluting our person model with context-specific business logic. Let's say there's another class that has a person, say, for applying coupons. It may not need to know the age of the person. Or worse, it will have rules like under 10 years old or over 70. Those numbers, 10 and 70, those are different from what we were looking at earlier. So we can use private extension functions to provide that context-specific explanation. So inside our discount calculator, we can have private extension functions that define the logic specific to that context. So then when we make, we can still have this expressiveness, but we're also keeping our data classes super minimal. And now, yeah, if we have a coupon eligibility class, it doesn't know about the over 65 extension function. It would be defined by itself, you know. So, and it's kind of hits on all the key buzzwords that we normally talk about. Encapsulation, cohesion, things like that. Okay, I did post it in chat. I should remember, actually, I'm going to do it now. I should remember when I do these and I reference other posts that I should drop it in the stream history, like notes. So we have that. I want 2 bullet points there. Yeah, I'll have to update that later as well, but cool. So let's actually do the same thing before I forget. So it's that with update password. So, you know, I'm also like, I'm a huge fan of like helper functions for stuff like this. But you know, some things like putting them in their own file just kind of creates like a lot of noise. But I think private extension functions are like actually a really great middle ground. Like, sure, does it feel like overkill because I'm creating a function that I don't need? Yes. But does it make these two functions like 10 lines less and a lot more readable? Also yes, in my opinion. Good points from WebShark. And also Wild Dog, a fair point that like except data classes should only contain like the data. I think that that's valid. Um, oh, Matt was asking, what is the benefit of this over something like a coupon validator that takes a person? Actually, this calculator does take in a person, but the thing, let me zoom in on this. Sorry. So the calculator does take in a person, but wait, hold on. This is early on in the post. Or wait, no, it wasn't. But they just feel like I'm missing parts of this post that he talks about. Um, this is just showing how he prefers extension functions over functions that consume. But the point is, like up here, uh, this is where it is. So it does take in a person. Um, but the benefit is the readability, in that like you don't have like actual conditions here inside your when statement. You can have a when statement that has clear and concise branches based on those extension functions, is I think the benefit you get of something like that. I hope that clears up what you were confused about. But definitely this is I definitely like I can't sell this post enough. He wrote this oh okay, it's not been that long. It's been like 2 years. But yeah, definitely read through it and understand, and maybe it'll be a little more clear. So let's run our tests one more time. Let's make sure they pass, and then I think I'm ready to call it a night. It's 11:30. I want to get ready for bed, and but a huge thank you to everyone who was here for this. Really appreciate it. We had a ton of fun. Uh, I don't know if any of you were here in the beginning. Uh, you all might not have seen our surprise intro video. Um, anyone in chat who missed the surprise intro video who would like to see it again? Um, there's got to be someone watching who didn't see it. All right, if you're ready for the memes, here we go. I also only have another 30 minutes for this to be valid. Matt, I hope you're ready. This wasn't Matt's idea, but he's already seen it.
It is Wednesday, Mike.
Oh my god, it's so ridiculous, but I love it. We will keep it going on our Wednesday streams, don't worry. Um, oh, look at how I have not tested the screen enough. This chat box looks awful in here. Um, or rather, it just kind of bleeds off to the side, but uh, we can play around with it. Um, yeah, that was a really great TikTok that someone sent me today, and I was like, thank you for blessing me with this. I'm adding it to my stream. Um, yeah, thank you all for coming and hanging out. I've got all sorts of issues. I actually couldn't even push my last commit, but I'm gonna have to take some time splicing this for YouTube. We are at 5 hours. What a threshold! Um, that is actually incredible. We are at 5 hours. We've had double-digit viewers the entire time. That's huge surprise to me. I love all of the support. Um, I'll splice this YouTube video. I'll clean up the stream history as always. I had a ton of fun. I loved all of the conversations. Like we took some complicated topics and we really worked them down. I think like there's really good blog posts to that could come out of some of our conversations, especially around use cases and repository and what should do what. Even if there was a little bit of trolling me in the middle of all that too, that was fun. But yeah, let's get ready to wrap up. Let's see if we can find someone to raid. I know Lando is on. I'm gonna see if there is someone doing some other software and game development that we could stream. Ooh, yeah, Coder Snacks. Let me see what they're working on real quick. I don't remember their name. I've followed them before, but um, I don't think I've hopped into this stream before. But Coder Snacks. Let me see if their bio. They don't have it. That's their brand. But they are working on doing some coding games. It looks like a sort of leak code problem. So, um, yeah, you don't have to stay for the raid, but we're gonna go raid the Coder Stacks and show them some love. So I'm gonna get that started. That'll go off in 10 seconds. And then, yeah, we will see you all next Wednesday. I hope you all have a great night. See you later, raid. All right. See you all. Have a good night.
You've been here for a minute. For I in range